What's going on, ARP family? Got a couple clips to check out. Like, share, subscribe. Let's go.
Let's go through the examples. Candace Owens said over and over again that President Trump would send you to die for Israel, for the Jews. I'm reading her actual ex-posts. Get ready, white American men. It's time for you to go die for Israel again. If you don't want to die for Israel, then you are an anti-Semite. Sign up to die in Iran for Netanyahu today, or just admit you hate Jews. Here's another one. They tried to redefine anti-Semitism, criminalize criticism of Israel on college campuses. Not true. Most crucially, seed the idea that the declaration of Christ as our king amounted to hatred against Jews. Also not accurate. All of this was done in preparation for the Greater Israel agenda, regarding which they attempted to emotionally manipulate Americans to accept. The conspiracy theorists were right again. It was always about a planned war with Iran and a doomed, heretical belief that mass slaughter of women and children is messianic. Let me read that again. It was always about a planned war. Where's the planned war?
It's all part of the plan.
Yeah. This wasn't presented as an opinion. This was presented to you as fact. And I had many people go, this is clearly a planned war for Israel. That's clearly what Donald Trump is doing. He's trying to get us in. Is that what you're seeing? If it's not what you're seeing, this was dishonest. Here's another one. Our foreign policy is dictated by Israel. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. That seems like it's dictated by Israel.
That's part of the plan.
Yeah.
Deception.
Didn't sound like it to me.
Trump will continue to do as he is told by Netanyahu. Don't drop the bombs. Okay, we won't. That sounds to me like one person's in charge. And here's the thing. That's a good thing. Shouldn't we be happy about this, guys? Shouldn't we be happy that Donald Trump at a certain point had enough and said jump, and they said how high? Both sides. Trump will continue to do as he is told by Netanyahu. If you want to know what America will do, spare yourself the fake White House press briefings and start listening to Bibi. We are a colony of Israel. Your politicians are bought and paid for. Taking separate components, there are politicians bought and paid for by AIPAC, by the way.
That is very true. Very, very true. There's a multitude of them.
I can't stand AIPAC for the same reason that I hate Act Blue. They support Hakeem Jeffries. But combining that and saying that we are a colony of Israel, and spare yourself the fake White House press briefings. Also implications that everything here, everyone who disagrees, was fake. If it seems like I'm being harsh, it's because you were told that the people telling you the truth were fake, and the algorithm amplifies it, and it made your life worse, and it embarrassed you. You get it? By the way, the worst part is you don't even get to celebrate the win. No war. Good, done. No nukes in Iran. Great. America is a colony of Israel. Spare yourself all the other fake information and know that you're going to go die for Israel, which ultimately led to an entire coalition demanding the impeachment of the man you voted for. Candace Owens legitimately told service members that they should seek a dishonorable discharge, which, by the way, wouldn't be a dishonorable discharge. If you look at the way she described it, it would be desertion over a war that wasn't happening.
Yeah, she lost me there. When she told service members to go take a dishonorable discharge, she completely lost me there. I'm not really sure what's going on with Candace, and I appreciate Candace. I've covered Candace on this channel here, and I've appreciated her work in the past. I'm not really sure what is going on with her, but when she told service members to basically desert and take a bad conduct discharge or a dishonorable discharge, people got to understand that that is the equivalent to basically taking a felony. When you get a BCD, it's just like getting a felony. It ruins everything. All of your benefits gone. You can't file for any form of disability, through the military. Your VA loan's gone, your GI Bill's gone. She's literally asking people or telling people to blow their entire lives up, things that they've worked for. In some cases, it could be 10, 15, 20 years. over something that hasn't even really happened yet. I mean, it's just as unhinged as it gets, to be honest with you.
LG19 writes, serious question, will there be jobs or community military members can join when I get a dishonorable discharge for not contributing to delete people or my body for the interests of a certain foreign nation benefit? I love this question. I do believe that if war in Iran is on the agenda, and that appears so, get dishonorably discharged. Who cares? Who cares? Why should you go die in a foreign land? You now have the benefit of 2020. You can think about those men and those women who died because they were pitched that they were serving their country because there were weapons of mass destruction, right? They were serving their country because the Taliban, they were serving their country, whatever, and these people gave up their lives. And ask yourselves, for what?
Yeah, desert for a war that's not even happening. And here's the thing. Yeah, I get it. X isn't real life. But it turns into real life if people believe it. And some soldiers, I guarantee you, believed it. Some soldiers still fell for it. Some are still falling for it. Like Private who is still AWOL and doesn't know the war is over, anti-Semitic Jim. This guy got the short end. He doesn't.
Hates Jews.
Look,
in an attic.
People make mistakes. If it was all a mistake, just say it. Serve your audience. Serve the country, Candace.
I would agree with that. She was on Pierce the other day, and she still wouldn't come out and at least take that particular statement back as far as advising people to take that bad conduct or the dishonorable discharge. You don't want to get either one of those discharges. You just don't. And on top of that, you don't just get out and get to go home. When you get a BCD or a dishonorable discharge, typically you're going to go to the brick for a little bit too. So you're going to go do some prison time as well on the behest of Candace Owens, who honestly, I don't even know if she really understood the ramifications of what she was telling people to do. I mean, that's just crazy. It's just crazy. I don't think we're at a point now where people need to be fearful for their lives. And the reality of it is this: when you join the military, you understand what you join. You know what I'm saying? You are talked to about it on a more times than not, and we understand what we sacrifice. At least I did. And my son, who's currently serving, he as well understands what he's sacrificing. He understands that he's putting his life on the line, and that his goal right now, or his job, is to follow the commander in chief. You swear allegiance to that, when you decide to serve. No different than, any gang member that goes out there and gets jumped into the gang. They know good or hey, we're going to live and die with this decision. There's an old quote in The Wire, when there's two warring factions going on The Wire, and it's all over a lie. And one of the generals, in there, basically said that, hey, man, we've gone too far at this point, and we're going to have to fight on that lie. Now, what he was really saying there is that we're here now. Blood has been shed on both sides, and there's no turning back, at this point. We're not there right now, but I will say this: when it comes to service members, those especially that join the Marine Corps, that join the Army, they understand what they signed up for, and they also understand that your job is to basically serve the whims of the people in charge, and that to include the commander in chief. People understand it, but I just didn't understand that thought. But let's check out this clip from Joe Rogan. He had Bernie Sanders on, and what Bernie Sanders had to say, man, it's pretty dumb.
But what about the other lawsuit with the conversation that they had with Kamala Harris, where they edited the answers that she had to make it look more precise?
60 Minutes, they were suing 60 Minutes.
Yes.
Is, to my mind, historically, even around for a very long time, they're not infallible. But I think you look at most objective people will say 60 Minutes has a sterling reputation for investigativism. Are they wrong?
But that's not investigative journalism if you change someone's answers. If you ask her a question and she comes with a rambling answer that doesn't make sense, and you edit that out and insert another answer to a different question that seems more cogent.
All right, Joe, then you're walking down, you're walking down a dangerous path. Suing media has the impact of intimidating media. All right, if somebody sues you, all right, let me finish. All right.
Okay.
Somebody sues you. You know, why not you? You could,
Right.
you could be sued tomorrow, right? Because you are doing this. You're too sympathetic to this.
Right.
And Joe, you did that, and they have a big law firm behind you. You're going to have to spend zillions of dollars defending yourself. You know what? Next time you do an interview, you say, maybe I'm not going to go in that area. Right?
No, but it's not that. It's editing things to make this deceptive.
Yeah. And the media is supposed to be fair and unbiased. The mainstream media, they're supposed to be. And when you get a platform on here who basically leans into a candidate and helps them, and the edit job that was done on that video, masterful. Whoever did it, give them an award. Masterful.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Things to make this deceptive editing.
Joe,
So in deceptive editing,
I don't
you
know
give
when
people a different perception of who this
Yeah, I
candidate
understand
is
that.
than reality.
All right, but you
that's
gotta
not
explain-
But that's not objective journalism.
I know, but-
that's campaigning for that
All right,
person.
but
Would you agree with that?
I don't have those details. I don't know that I agree with
This dude full of sugar honey iced tea.
your analysis of it. I don't know enough.
I
but,
think that's universally accepted that
well,
that's what they did.
And you got to tell me why he is suing ABC. Why he's suing
well,
Meta.
let's just talk about the 60 Minutes
no,
one
but
first.
no, but it's not
we
just
could
60.
go to ABC, but I'm not aware of that
Well,
one
as
either.
George Stephanopoulos said something that he didn't like. But the point is,
What did Stephanopoulos say?
I can't remember. It was I honestly don't remember. But
Well, I think what he was saying was factually incorrect about the results of one of Trump's trials.
all right, guess what? If I were to sue everybody who said things that were factually incorrect about me, I'd be suing people zillions of times. But Joe, what you're saying is, look, does media get it wrong sometimes? Absolutely. Should you have the most powerful person in America suing media? What is the impact of that? The impact is clearly intimidation. He wants to defund public broadcasting, NPR. Why is that? Well, because they also would run critical stories of him. This is part, in my view, without getting into any one case, it's part of a pattern that says, hey, I got the power. Don't you criticize me. You criticize me, I'm going to sue you. So it's not whether this show was right or wrong. There are shows every day.
When we talk about NPR, right? NPR, PBS, they had, trans and drag folks on Sesame Street. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? We should not, as taxpayers, we should not be funding this type of stuff for our children. We shouldn't. And we definitely shouldn't fund a organization that's supposed to be fair and unbiased. But when you listen to their content, it's all 100% leaning towards liberalism, Marxism, and the Democratic Party. Why should the taxpayers pay for that? Why should federal money, why should public money pay for that? I want to know.
Get it wrong. It's whether you respect you and other media people to do the best that you can. And if I don't like what you're doing, I'll go someplace else. But I don't like presidents suing media, and then it's, threatening to impeach judges who rule against you. Really? Is that a concern? I think it's a concern.
I agree. That's a concern. Well, my concern is when you have media organizations that are purported to be objective, and then they say things that are defamatory and factually incorrect, and they should know that before they say it. What other course does a person have other than a lawsuit? And isn't it important that you shine the light on what is a political bias
Then the way
where from an organization that you would hope would be objective?
Needless to say, I get attacked all the time by right-wing media, right? Every day.
Needless to say.
Needless to say.
But is mainstream media supposed to be held to the highest standard when it comes to journalism in our country. Because if they are, they have a fiduciary responsibility before they get on air to make sure that they've obtained the facts. They also have a fiduciary responsibility, if that is truly the case, to be fair and unbiased. They do. They can't do things to show themselves leaning in one direction or another. Just be there and present the facts. That's it. That's all we ask for. And that's a lot of the reason why people have decided to just, hey, remove themselves from that. A lot of it has to do with people who have cut the cord, but also you have a lot of people that still have cable that just refuse to watch them because they know that these people are pushing an agenda. They're pushing propaganda. The people, we see it.
All right. I don't sue them. So you expose
but they
him.
don't say,
then he's the president of the United
but
States.
Do they say things factually incorrect,
Right, then he can get up there.
defamatory and slanderous?
If there's anybody in the world who knows how to use a microphone, his name is Donald Trump. And Donald Trump get up. You saw that program on CBS the other day? It was crap. It was wrong. And let me tell you why it was wrong.
But then they do it again and again and again.
Then you take them on.
The problem is the more people do stuff like that, if you don't have any consequences to what you're doing, you're going to continue that path. And the most people only see that. They're not like if you're a left-wing leaning media organization and you print something that's factually incorrect or you say something on television that's factually incorrect, your viewers who are left-leaning are most likely not going to see Trump's rebuttal in some speech that he does in the middle of Pennsylvania.
Right, but that's another problem. You know,
Bernie Sanders is full of it. And the fact that he is still trying to defend it just shows you exactly what time it is with this particular guy here. We're going to get out of here, man. I appreciate you guys pulling up today. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to leave you with this right here. And I'm going to catch up with you all next time, man. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. Y'all take care.
How did he win? Well, it was racism. It was misogyny, xenophobia. Really? 76 million? From every walk of life, up over every demographic from 4 years ago? It was racism. No, it wasn't. It was people who are tired of a system that's been lying to them. And even though the candidate is deeply flawed, all of those things didn't matter to people who are saying, I can't pay for groceries. You can't finesse me with a whole bunch of words that don't mean nothing. Your celebrity endorsements didn't help you.
You better say.
No, and people are hurting, they're lost, they're wounded, and they're broken. All of what happened Tuesday had already been written by heaven. None of it caught God off guard. And none of it will impact the people of God in a way other than what God intended for his people. So here's my question. Have any of God's promises changed?
No.
Has God's love changed?
No.
Did anything catch God off guard?
No.
So what you crying for?
Vibes so